Hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Got the Golden Tarot on the tarot table, so you know we're going to be asking about the royal family. So, did you hear the news that King Charles bought Camilla's neighbor's home for $3 million? And he's saying it's for her security because he was refurbishing it to make it an Airbnb and a wedding place. And they thought that that was too dangerous for her because it was about 200 feet away from her front door. So for security purposes, the king bought it with his own personal money. It was not bought through the crown or anything. So he personally owns it, which makes a lot of sense because when he does pass away, her being the spouse of his personal items, not his crown items, it'll automatically go to her, and therefore she'll have more control over this next door property. Now, I have some questions about this. I mean, number one, she's always kept her home, and this home she purchased when she divorced her first husband, and it was part of their settlement, and she purchased it. And even after she's married King Charles, been married for 20 years, she has kept it as her sanctuary away from royal stuff. And apparently this neighbor, they share a long driveway. And apparently the neighbor actually owns a driveway, but apparently there's a written agreement that she can use the driveway. Fine, all is well. That happens in many places. Now, in 2017, the neighbor that was there when she bought the property passed away. And then this new neighbor bought it and started refurbishing it and making it available for an Airbnb. And apparently the queen, by then she was the Duchess of, what, I can't remember, started with a C. Cambridge? No, that was the Cambridges. Anyways, she didn't want to be called the Princess of Wales, and I frankly don't blame her. I wouldn't have either. There was just, even though legally she was the Princess of Wales, being the wife of the Prince of Wales, publicly she wanted to be known as the Duchess of, anyways, doesn't matter. In 2017, when he sold it to this guy, and she actually used her HRH stationery to write these complaints to council to say this guy can't do it, and they said unfortunately he can for you. So what has happened is Prince Charles, so that was in 2017. Prince Charles has come in and made a agreement with this person. Now you have to remember, it wasn't for sale. He was setting it up to be a wedding venue. And she was like, oh, darling, all summer is going to be loud, and we're going to have to share this driveway with how many dozens of people, for my security. The parties will be 200 feet from my front door. What are we going to do? Charles went in there and did some negotiation. And again, it's with his own private money, all right? It's not crown money that he's used. And he said it's for her security. So I got a couple of questions. Number one, how is he going to explain to Harry that he overpays for a house, £3 million, and apparently it's not worth that much? How is he going to tell Harry he'll pay £3 million for his wife's security, but he won't pay a penny for his security, for him and his children? And number two, I'm asking the cards. This is our question today. Is Charles shoring up Camilla's security because he knows William won't once he's gone? Right? So Charles has said, we are looking for a reliable tenant. So they are going to rent it out. You know who I think is going to be rented out to? Her security. And I think, you think about it. So he's paid for that. He passes away, that automatically becomes her home. William can't do anything about it. Her being the spouse, as private citizens, right? That's what happens when you pass away. Things go to your spouse, especially real estate. And so that will be her house. So William can't do anything about it. And then I think her security detail will be in there. I'm not too sure how much she gets as queen consort after the king passes away. Because you have to remember, it was different for the queen mother, because she was the queen's mother. Camilla is not the queen's or the king's mother. I'm not even too sure if she gets to keep HRH when, if and when he passes. Not if, everybody passes away. All right, so as the king shoring up Camilla's security, because he is worried that William won't. Let's put it that way. There we go. Page of Wands in reverse. Well, it's bad news that sticks around for a while. Queen of Cups, there she is. Three of Cups in reverse. Yeah, you know, I keep saying there's a rift between William and Charles and Catherine and Camilla. Sorry, I do. Strength in reverse and Ace of Wands upright. You're damn right, that's what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. He's worried after he is gone, will the royal family look after her? There she is. She's up, Ace of Wands. There's he is being proactive with it. Because the house wasn't for sale. He just went in and started bargaining. I think it is. I think he is worried about the rift within the royal family. It's King of Wands in reverse. Well, there's her security. There's her equerry, right? The Empress. There's Catherine. Oh, so is it something to do with Catherine? That her and Catherine had a falling out. Remember, I read the cards. I noticed at Remembrance Day there was a falling out, and I read the cards, and it had something to do with Tom, with her son. Look at that. The clock agrees with me. Tom was talking to the media, and you know who outed him was Neil Sean. Said, oh yeah, Tom and I are buddies, and Tom, you know, my good source Tom. And it was shortly after that there was a rift. You could feel the rift, and here it is. I think they're more worried about what she would suggest. Because remember, Catherine will be an empress. She will be the king's mother eventually, right? Five of Swords in reverse. Yeah, they're fighting, guys. They're definitely fighting. Five of Coins, an outsider. Yeah, for sure. He's worried that, number one, Camilla won't have the money, or she'll be considered an outsider and she'll be ousted. Queen of Swords upright. There's the contract. There's the deal. Five of Cups in reverse. Yeah, he's looking after the future. He's looking out. He's definitely looking forward, looking to the future. What's underlying? The Lovers. Well, plus that's her husband, right? Let's, you know, husband looking after his wife. Queen of Coins in reverse. Now, is that Catherine or is that his mother? Maybe it was something to do with his mother's wish. Three of Wands, patience. So yeah, looking forward to the future. Justice in reverse. The Moon upright. 10 of Cups in reverse. There is definitely a rift in this family. And I'm almost wondering if like the veil here is like, I think it's either something's happened with Catherine, or perhaps there is no, how do I put this? Well, yeah, there's no crown money for her, right? Because you have to think about it. Everything that Charles has came from his mother's inheritance, right? As king, right? And I think there's something in there that there's no provisions for the queen consort. And this is where the Justice is in reverse. So maybe they're looking forward to the future. And so this is a thinly veiled future security issue. I think that he is just looking after her as the husband, and saying, okay, as the husband, I'm, let's get this all set up for you. As king, there's not a lot I can do for you. But we've got the 10 of Cups here. I think there's more. I think this whole family has imploded. I think William, Harry, Charles are, I think they're all fighting amongst each other. I think they've all imploded. And I think that the only reason, I think he's just really worried that William will put her to the curb. He's planning for the future. He's making sure her security detail is in line and paid for, and she's going to be safe. I don't know if Queen Consort, if she'll be given a grace and favor place on any kind of royal grounds. I don't think she'd want it, to tell you the truth. I think she'd want to go back home. She said, this is where my grandchildren can play and run, and this is where, they're growing up, and I want this to be their home. So I could see her, completely shunning the royal life after that, and just living in her home, and then knowing her security detail is right beside her. That's who they're going to rent the house to. Now, I'm sure that she'll get some kind of security detail as a royal family member. But I think there's something that's going to be unfair about it. I think they'll make it look like perhaps they paid for one person, and maybe Charles will have to set it up so there's more money for her. But I think Charles himself is wealthy, and I don't know how much he's going to leave for the boys. I mean, obviously William's going to get everything, so for tax purposes, but they also have personal. So is he going to give some to Harry, or I mean, the majority of it will go to his spouse. At least that's the way it works in Canada. And we're under the same basic laws as the UK. Like, so for example, if my husband died without a will, the law states it would automatically go to me. End of story. And my children would have to fight for some if I chose not to give them any, like, right? Which normal families, that wouldn't be an issue. Now, if I were to die without a will, and my husband had already died, then my children actually have to go to court and apply to be the benefactors of the will. And then it's open up to, does anybody else have any claims? It's quite a drawn out procedure, and they're basically looking for like adopted children or whatnot, or other children that are disenfranchised or whatever. Anyways, I digress. I really went on a tangent there. I think this is absolutely what he's doing. He's setting up her future. We have both future cards here, so he's setting up her future, because he knows right now it doesn't. If something were to happen to him right now, I think he would almost be afraid of what happens to Camilla. So she showed up there, and he's coming up with ideas and also in a way that protects his money too, knowing that he paid that $3 million for that house. Well, he knows that'll go directly to Camilla after he dies, right? Harry won't get it, for example. But look at under the moon here. Some of this is really veiled. So if it just looks like, oh, it's for security and she didn't want it noisy or whatever, there's something else going on. All right, well, YouTube's going to show you another video that you possibly haven't seen. Why don't you click on that, and I will see you over there. Thank you very much for watching.